Now I've spent hours going through fine-tuning the weld. I've been removing the highs and lows. Some small defects left, but that will be easily picked up with filler. Gives the filler something to bite to on the panel. They're very shallow. I might still, there's a couple there that are a little bit larger that I'll tap a bit more and take out. So I've got from there to there. I've still got to go up to about there on that particular weld. That's the last weld I did. It's coming up slowly. Haven't done this, of course. I've got to continue along, and I'll finish doing this larger weld. But I wanted to get this one done first. So there's the first patch panel, the second one, and this is the third one in here. As I say, it's coming along quite nicely. When I've finished taking all of those larger highs and lows out, I'll be fitting the inner support underneath that, the bracing piece, and then looking at doing a final shape. Now, just looking at it, it will still need a bit of shrinking up in here, but I'm using a shrinking disc to do that rather than heat. So I want to get the support behind it before I do that, but not ready to do that yet. I've still got to do more along here. You can see all the dark sections. They're low sections, they've all got to come up. So I've still got quite a bit to do. As I say, it takes hours to do it. Takes even longer if you want to get everything out. My intention is not to get everything out, is to basically get the panel almost flat, even though it's a curved panel, but get all those low sections out. As I say, there's still a couple there I might go back and do, but I do need something for the filler to bite into anyway, so they're very, very shallow, so I don't think that's really much of a problem. Anyway, I'll keep tapping away. It's a bit like watching the grass grow, but it will eventually be done. I was hoping to be a little bit further advanced this month than I am, and the reason for that is I'm still working on the bushfire preparation and landscape maintenance. I'll post a video on that just to show some of the things I've been working on, and I still haven't finished. But anyway, what I've been working on in my spare time is to get the panel back into the right shape. Now, I made these profiles before I cut these sections out and before I started welding, and I've now transferred the profiles to metal profiles, and most of the profiles are the same across the panel, from the centre to what says there, E, is the same shape, but then from there to here is a different shape. Now, I've got the using those profiles to actually find the high bits. Now, when I've planished these welds, I've obviously been a little bit too enthusiastic and stretched the metal, and what it's done is curve this down. Now the curving is a lot easier because I've taken the support structure out from behind it. That probably would have held it a lot more. So I've actually temporarily put the support structure back in behind, but it's not providing a lot of support, but I've been going through with a shrinking disc, and for those who haven't seen one, these are shrinking discs. The black on the panel, where I discover high spots, I use a black texture, and the purpose of that is to provide lubrication for the disc, and it also shows obviously where you want to heat the panel up with that disc and then shrink it with a wet rag. Now it has brought the high spots down, and in doing that it's brought the panel back up. I've still got a few millimetres to go on this section here. It's very close. I've still got a few little high spots which I'll take off, and it's a little bit lower here, but I haven't really worked a lot on that section. That's the section that basically from here to here to here, where I've cut the, oh no, it's right around there, sorry, from there to there, where I've cut the support frame out from behind. So that's tending to drop more. So I'm just working on getting that lifted up, and then I can lift the panel up just by hand. So I'm just going to make sure that when I get this support structure back into the right position, it will hold it up enough. If not, I've still got a little bit of work. I can feel a little bit of a few highs in here where I've stretched it, so it's bulged up and pushed that down. So I've still got a few bits I can bring up. Anyway, more work to do on that. As I said before, I want to make sure I've got all this section of weld straightened out before I start the that piece on the end. As I say, it's not going too bad. Without these profiles it would have been a lot worse, because sometimes it looks like it's right, you put the profile on and it's actually curving down too much. Now what I do is I check it with the profile. What's that F? Check with that. I can see it's down, and I can measure that. In fact, I've been measuring the gap at the end, and as I shrink it's gradually coming up. But what I can also do is to put the profile gauge on like that, and then I can compare it with the profile and get it in the right position, and I can see where the differences are. So a lot more work to do yet, but as I say, I'm otherwise occupied and really can't spend a lot of time in here at the moment, but I'll get back to it, and it will move along nicely. Now this has taken many hours, and I mean many, to get this profile back into shape. Now to get the final shaping of it, I put a little bit of undercoat on there and then rubbed it back, showed up the low spots. There's a couple of little low spots left, I'm not worried about those yet. And a couple up here that I can't get to the other side of because I've tack welded the other brace underneath, but I'll take that off and raise those low sections. But the main thing was to get the profile from the centre down to here, and also to get this to match the opening of the body. It now achieves that. A couple of finer ripples in there, but once again I don't have the brace underneath. When that brace is underneath, this lifts a little bit more and straightens out. So that is about as good as I want to get it at this stage. Now I actually have to work on the remainder, which is this area in here, where there are actually rust holes straight through in there, but I probably will extend it out a little bit just to make sure I get the deeper rust pits out. So that'll be the final, or hopefully this is the final area that I'll actually have to address in terms of the skin of the hatch. Now, I've still got to make repairs to the bracing pieces around the window and so on, but this is the final section. So when I've done that, I've basically done the bottom of the hatch from this point to this point, and there's very little that hasn't been replaced all the way along there, so it's quite a large area that's been repaired, or will be repaired. So what I'm about to do now is to try and brace this up a little bit more while I work on this, cut a repair section and then weld that in place. Now hopefully I won't have the same distortion I've had. It's only a shorter piece, and I'll be extra careful with the way I do it. So when that's done and when that's finally straightened, I'll probably have a rest from the hatch. I've spent an enormous amount of hours doing these repairs here, and it's a case of it's about time I tried something different, a little bit of variety. So I'll probably switch on to the either the front wings or the bonnet centre section, so just to give me a little bit of a change, because I've just about had enough of this. Very tedious work, but I'm now okay from there to there. I've just got this much smaller section to work on to finish these major repairs on the skin. Now I've cut quite a large hole out to get rid of the pits and pinprick holes in here, and I've just been forming up the repair section, so the shape is close. Now what I've got to do is to actually cut it back to get it to fit tightly, so that's going to take some time. Hopefully I won't mess this up, but anyway, I'll get stuck into this and see if I can fit it. As I say, nice tight fit's what I need, so I can TIG weld it. The final piece in the skin repair is in place. Now what I have to do is to go around and tack that with the TIG and then weld it in. Hopefully I won't get too much distortion, so less distortion the better. Easier it is to finish, but a bit larger than I thought, but it's certainly covered all of the areas of deep pitting and holes. Now this is nicely tacked in place. I did blow through a couple of places, once there, a small one there. It's not so much of a problem. I can fix that up when I put more welds in. I didn't use any copper plate behind that, so that's probably why that did blow through. But anyway, I've got to now go around and increase the number of tacks. So I've just got the piece in correctly. It's all level. There's no distortion at all. Everything's flush with the panel, so that's good. So now I need to go around and put multiple tacks, probably about that far apart. It will then hold everything in position when I weld it. Now when I do weld it, I'll try a little different way. What I did on the other welds was to do it in sections, both the top of the repair section and the bottom. What I may do is just start to go around on the bottom and then see what distortion I get and then correct that. And the reason for this is that I'll know that the distortion is caused by that weld. When I've done multiple welds, I'm not too sure whether it's the welding up here that's caused the distortion or the welding down there. So I'll do it piece by piece, so the any distortion doesn't get out of hand. Anyway, more tacks to go in place. That shouldn't be a problem. As I say, everything's nice and level. That's the main thing, is to get it level as you're tacking it in, before you put the final tacks in, just to make sure none of these are out of sync with each other. So there might be a couple there, they all seem fine, but I'll go around and triple check before I start putting extra tacks in, and then in with the final weld. Now I've finished the weld off, this weld here, and I've spent quite some time getting distortion out. I thought I would be able to avoid it, but I didn't, so it's taken a while to get it out. There's still more to do to get the shape back to the original profile. Now I've been taking measurements as I go when I finish these welds, and within a few millimetres, I think I can get it a little bit better. Now that's within a few millimetres without the bracing piece inside. I want to try and get it as close as I can without that brace, so it's it's its natural shape. So a little bit more to do, but in terms of spending concentrated time on it, what I'm going to do is put this on the back burner, and I'll use it as a fill-in piece when I'm working, just to come back and tweak the shape a little bit more before I weld everything back in terms of the bracing. In the meantime, I'm going to go on to something different, because I've spent enormous amount of hours doing this. Is it worth it? Well, I can say I did it. So, financially, is it worth it? Probably not. In terms of the hours spent, I've probably spent to date more than the cost of the actual panel, even though that's thousands of dollars once it gets landed in Australia. But that's not the point. The point is, this is the original hatch, and I was hoping I'd be able to do it, and at this stage it looks like I can, albeit it's just taking more time, but that's alright. Time doesn't cost me anything. So what I'm going to do is to move on to the bonnet repairs. Now, I've been in touch with Chuck Hadley at Monocoque Metalworks, and he's making up a few patch panels. He's actually making up most of the patch panels for both the wings and the centre section. There's a few pieces that I'll make up, they're only small pieces. So I thought I'd save some time and rely on Chuck's expertise. I'll know at least that the panels are correct. Still a lot of work to do to put them in, but that's what I'm working on next. So at the moment, this will go on the back burner, and when I get tired of working on the bonnet, I'll come back and continue on this till I get the shape right and everything welded up in terms of the repairs to the skin. I still have more repairs to do to the bracing pieces behind. Hopefully they won't take as long as this, because this is the piece that is shown in terms of the body shape.